Good morning, Monday the 7th of November 2011, Perugia, back of Basilicus and Domenico. They're attractive, aren't they? These big old, solid old buildings. Dates are, I think, initially about the 1300s. St. Dominic, I think, is 1200s. I think he's after St. Francis. I don't know where he's from. Right. To no problem is there not a solution. Ha! Double negative. Bad boy. This is what my soul is wrestling with. Quite unexpectedly, I've ended up, for most of this year now, and it looks like for the rest of it, quite frankly, in Roman Catholic Italy, not France. Now, back in the mid-90s, because this is what interests me, I used to spend an awful lot of time at a huge, beautiful cathedral of St. Albans, the Cathedral and Abbey Church of St. Albans, northwest of London. Its dates are 1077 to 1088. Obviously then there was the whole Protestant movement and so on and so on and so on, Henry VIII and all of that, culminating in Henry VIII being excommunicated, couldn't have a child, all those wives and all of that, and the Roman Catholics being booted out, persecuted basically, in God's name. Well, I'm part of the same humanity, the two commandments. So if you weigh everything up against the two commandments, obviously love God and then love your neighbor as yourself. Well, for me, the most important thing is this question of how we love you, my Lord. What form our worship takes, but the Lord's Prayer and to share in your body and blood. This is what you have given us, where two or more are gathered together in my name, there I am also. Right? So, here's the place. Really nice place. Got a lovely acoustic, and all those blasted side chapels, which I don't like. Well, it's not a question of that I don't like them. I positively believe they are wrong. I see it as idolatry. People are worshipping whichever saint they choose. I love St. Francis, but I don't worship him. I only worship you, my Lord. This connection is between oneself and you, my Lord. I went in yesterday before the Mass, potted about, joined in the singing practice a bit, but then I leave. I cannot nor will not take communion with them, right? So that remains my personal difficulty. In Amiens, in France, so on my pilgrimage, I was in France pretty much this time last year, because of the Somme in the First World War and all those young men who were killed. The war to end all wars, and it obviously hasn't. Huge cathedral there, Amiens. I went all to the pre-Christmas Advent Sundays. 3 of them actually. There was one that was too icy, I couldn't go. But there I was, there, and there were a few people, 30, 50 maybe, and at the midnight Mass I was there too, at Christmas Eve and so on, right? So clearly I take a great interest in all this stuff. people should be free to worship as they wish. I don't go to Muslim churches. I know what I think of the Muslims. They are the Muslims, or the Hindus, or whatever. I go to the Christian church, so-called Christian church, this lot. So part of me is saying, well, there, whatever it is, 180, 90,000 people in the community in Picardy there by Amiens, of whom a handful go to that big cathedral. It's basically empty apart from tourists. Here I find much more faith amongst the Italian people. And I just haven't got the answer to this. It just absolutely crucifies me that I can't, cannot, nor will not share communion with the people. Yes, if I meet those people in a cafe or, you know, wherever, McDonald's or somewhere, anywhere, public place, then I'd hope to speak with people. There's a particularly nice, they're Dominican. There are 5 monks, I believe, and some sisters as well. I'm not sure if they're Dominican sisters, but there are these nuns about anyway. Right, so that is the title of the page, as it were, the title of the essay. To no problem, is there not a solution? I don't have the solution. Part of me says, yes, right, I show, to the best of my ability, your light, my Lord, shining in this dark world. Fine. That's the best I can do. But here I am at 55, alone, doing it alone as usual. And that's the problem for me. Utterly, I do not want to spend the rest of my life alone, worshipping in my own little way wherever I happen to be. Right, and I haven't got the answer. Closing shot. Big basilica. Up, 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 up.